No problem. I'll just do my laundry another night.
Another night? Well, I guess you can try, but deep inside your heart, you'll know that laundry night is always Saturday night.
Leonard, prepare to be humbled and weep at the glory of my genius.
Think you know the Big Bang Theory? Well, you're in for a shock. While the show kept us laughing non-stop, the behind-the-scenes stories are just as wild, and some might totally change how you see the sitcom. Curious about the weird stuff fans totally missed? Here are 15 crazy Big Bang Theory facts you've never heard. Number 15. From Katie to the beloved neighbor. The character we now know as Penny from the Big Bang Theory almost had a very different identity. Originally, she was going to be called Katie, and her personality was far from the bubbly and charming neighbor that fans came to adore. Instead, the character was pictured as more sarcastic and somewhat jaded, which was the direct opposite to the geeky personalities of the show's central cast. When casting began, Kaley Cuoco auditioned for the role, but the part initially went to Canadian actress Amanda Walsh. Amanda even filmed the original pilot in 2006, portraying the character as the skeptical and biting version of Penny. However, after reviewing the pilot, the producers decided the dynamic wasn't working as intended. The chemistry with the other characters felt off, and the show lacked the warmth and comedic rhythm that would later define it. In response, the character was reimagined as Penny, a sunny, approachable, and slightly naive young woman who could act as a bridge between the socially awkward scientists and the outside world. This change positively transformed the show's tone, giving it a lighter, more relatable energy. With this reimagining, Kaley Cuoco was brought on board, and her portrayal struck the perfect balance they wanted for the show. That simple move was a game-changer. Penny became not only a central figure on the show, but also a beloved cultural icon. Her bubbly personality and the way she interacted with Leonard, Sheldon, and the rest of the gang helped propel The Big Bang Theory into one of the most successful sitcoms of its era. With all that said, it's time for the next weird fact. Number 14. The mystery of Penny's last name. One of the most long-standing mysteries on The Big Bang Theory was Penny's last name, or, more accurately, the fact that she never had one. For the entire run of the show, the writers deliberately kept her surname a secret. Executive producer Steve Malaro revealed that the decision came from a mix of playfulness and superstition. The team got nervous and superstitious about assigning her a last name before her character married, believing it might somehow jinx the story or affect the character's identity. In the end, Penny's last name officially became Hofstadter, taking Leonard's surname after their marriage. Until then, her last name remained one of television's enduring enigmas. Fans have speculated for years, even pointing to a scene in Season 2 where a package appeared to display the name Teller. However, Malaro confirmed that this was never canon, and any theories outside the show's narrative should be disregarded. Kaley Cuoco expressed her own fondness for the mystery. She told TV Line that she enjoyed the fact that Penny's last name was never revealed, saying it added a unique element to her character. This playful secrecy became part of Penny's charm, keeping audiences intrigued and fostering one of the many quirks that made the show memorable. Now that the mystery is solved, what next detail is next on the list? Number 13. Howard Wolowitz almost looked very different. Not only was Penny nearly a completely different character, but other roles on The Big Bang Theory almost had very different faces. One surprising casting twist involved Howard Wolowitz. The role was initially written with Kevin Sussman in mind, the actor who later became popular as Stuart, the comic book store owner. However, ABC wouldn't release Sussman from his contract on Ugly Betty, preventing him from taking the part of Howard. Casting director Ken Miller explained that the network's hold on Sussman was a frustrating obstacle. ABC had an option on him and declined to free him for the new show, leaving the producers of The Big Bang Theory with no choice but to cast someone else. This decision ultimately led to Simon Helberg stepping into the role, creating the Howard Wolowitz fans came to know and love. The quirky, fast-talking engineer with a wardrobe all his own. As for Kevin Sussman, Miller noted the unfortunate irony of the situation. After missing out on the Howard role, Sussman didn't even return to Ugly Betty, leaving him in a kind of professional limbo for a time. Yet this twist of fate eventually worked in his favor, as he was later cast as Stewart, a character that became a fan favorite over the show's 12-season run. Funny how things work out. Now, let's jump right back into unveiling weird facts you didn't know about. Number 13. A nod to TV legend Sheldon Leonard. The names of two of The Big Bang Theory's most iconic characters, Sheldon Cooper and Leonard Hofstadter, weren't chosen at random. Both were named in tribute to television producer Sheldon Leonard, the creative force behind classic shows like The Andy Griffith Show and The Dick Van Dyke Show. Co-creator and executive producer Bill Prady explained that it was co-creator Chuck Lorre's idea, reflecting their shared admiration for Leonard's work. The homage served as a subtle nod to television history, linking the nerdy, neurotic, and often hilarious personalities of the show's central characters to a legend who had shaped comedy decades before. Sheldon Leonard's influence on TV comedy was significant, and naming characters after him was both a sign of respect and a playful acknowledgement of his lasting impact. Fans may never have realized the connection while watching the series, but for the creators, it was a meaningful way to honor someone who had helped define the landscape of American sitcoms. Honoring Sheldon Leonard showed just how much classic TV shaped the series. But what about the real people who inspired its most unforgettable characters? Number 12. The real-life inspiration behind Sheldon Cooper. Sheldon Cooper, one of The Big Bang Theory's most iconic and eccentric characters, was inspired by a real person from co-creator Bill Prady's past. Prady once worked with a computer programmer who could perform astonishing calculations in his head, but struggled with everyday social tasks like tipping waiters in restaurants. This quirky combination of brilliance and social awkwardness became the foundation for Sheldon's unique personality. Prady's recollection shows how real-life experiences can create compelling fictional characters. The programmer's extraordinary mental abilities, paired with his lack of social finesse, offered a template for Sheldon's genius and idiosyncratic behavior, from his meticulous routines to his often blunt, literal-minded interactions with friends. This balance of intellect and eccentricity helped make Sheldon both funny and relatable, resonating with audiences worldwide. When Prady shared the story, co-creator Chuck Lorre joked that he had never seen that particular individual on television before, emphasizing how the character was a creative exaggeration rather than a direct depiction. The result was a memorable and multidimensional character who became central to the show's appeal. Through Sheldon, the show explored the humor and challenges of intellectual brilliance colliding with ordinary life, turning a simple workplace anecdote into one of television's most recognizable and beloved characters. Sheldon's character may have come from real-life quirks, but how did one of his most iconic catchphrases come to be?
Bazinga. Bazinga. I don't care. Bazinga. 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 Bazinga.
Number 11. The origin of Sheldon's iconic Bazinga. Sheldon Cooper's famous catchphrase, Bazinga, didn't just appear out of nowhere. It has an origin story that traces back to his younger years. The story was revealed in a 2018 episode of Young Sheldon, the prequel to The Big Bang Theory. As a child, Sheldon was trying to act more playful and less serious, experimenting with a sense of humor that was quite unlike his naturally precise and logical personality. During this period, he discovered a comic book store that sold quirky and humorous toys under a brand called Bazinga. Fascinated by the playful energy of the toys, Sheldon adopted the word as a way to punctuate his attempts at joking and tricking others. The phrase quickly became his signature exclamation, used to signal a prank or a clever twist. Over time, Bazinga became synonymous with Sheldon himself, symbolizing both his rare sense of humor and his distinctive personality. The word captured the essence of the character: highly intelligent, socially awkward, and surprisingly mischievous in his own unique way. Fans of The Big Bang Theory embraced the catchphrase instantly, repeating it in everyday conversations, on merchandise, and in pop culture references, turning a simple word into a hallmark of television comedy. The catchphrase took off, but did you know young Sheldon also drops a major surprise about Sheldon's future family? Number 10. Sheldon and Amy's family in Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon, the prequel to The Big Bang Theory, not only explores Sheldon's childhood, but also offers glimpses into his future family life. One notable revelation is that Sheldon and Amy, his eventual wife, go on to have a son together, whom they name Leonard. This choice is a clear nod to Sheldon's lifelong friendship with Leonard Hofstadter, highlighting the deep bond between the two men that endures throughout the original series. The show doesn't stop with just one child. A later episode includes a voiceover from Sheldon, who says, "I did have kids," subtly implying that he and Amy have more than one child. This moment gives viewers a hint of Sheldon's future life as a family man, balancing his famously rigid personality with the responsibilities of parenthood. By revealing this part of Sheldon's life, young Sheldon added depth to the character, showing that despite his eccentricities, he grows into someone capable of love, commitment, and nurturing a family. The choice to name their son Leonard also reflects Sheldon's sentimental side, honoring the friendships and relationships that have shaped him from an early age. These small but meaningful details tie the prequel closely to The Big Bang Theory, giving fans a fuller picture of Sheldon's journey from an awkward, brilliant child to a husband and father. It reinforces the idea that even the most unconventional personalities can find family, love, and continuity in their lives, creating a satisfying bridge between Sheldon's past and his future. Ultimately, young Sheldon shows that behind the quirks, theories, and social challenges, there is a heart capable of connection, legacy, and enduring relationships. And speaking of the little details that shape these characters, what surprising effort did one cast member make every single day just to look the part? Number 9. Kunal Nayyar straightened his hair for Raj on The Big Bang Theory. Kunal Nayyar, who played Raj Koothrappali on The Big Bang Theory, has naturally curly hair. However, to portray Raj as the character the writers envisioned, Nayyar straightened his hair for every single episode. The process was time-consuming, taking him about 20 minutes each day before filming. The decision for Raj's sleek, straight hair wasn't random. It stemmed from a joke the writers had in mind. In the show's backstory, Raj straightened his hair because the first person he met in America was Howard Wolowitz, and Howard was considered the coolest guy Raj had ever met. The hair was meant to visually reflect Raj's admiration for Howard, showing how much he wanted to impress his new friend. This small detail added an extra layer of characterization to Raj. The straightened hair became part of his signature look, helping to distinguish him from other characters and subtly communicating his personality. It suggested a character concerned with appearances and eager to fit in, especially within his new social environment. For Nayyar, maintaining this hairstyle every day was a commitment. Despite the time and effort, it became an essential part of bringing Raj to life, contributing to the humor and charm that fans loved. The dedication paid off, as Raj became one of the show's most memorable and beloved characters, known not just for his quirks and comedic moments, but also for his distinctive style. Ultimately, the hair-straightening ritual highlights the level of detail involved in creating a character, and the small but meaningful choices that actors and writers make to shape a role. For Raj, those 20 minutes each day of straightening hair helped cement him as a fan favorite and added a lasting visual signature to the iconic sitcom. And speaking of cool behind-the-scenes moments, that brings us to our next weird fact. Number 8. Carrie Fisher and James Earl Jones reunite on The Big Bang Theory. Carrie Fisher and James Earl Jones, beloved for their iconic roles in Star Wars, appeared together as guest stars on The Big Bang Theory, marking their first on-screen reunion since the films. Despite their long history in the galaxy far, far away, the two had never appeared together on a sitcom until this memorable episode. Showrunner Steve Malaro shared the story of their meeting during a 2014 San Diego Comic-Con panel. According to Malaro, when Fisher and Jones finally approached each other on set, Carrie's reaction was heartfelt and playful. She immediately exclaimed, "Dad," a nod to James Earl Jones's role as the voice of Darth Vader, the father of her character, Princess Leia. The reunion brought a mix of nostalgia to the set. Fans of Star Wars and The Big Bang Theory alike appreciated the clever nod, which played off the characters' legendary connection while blending seamlessly into the comedic world of the sitcom. It was a moment that celebrated both Fisher and Jones's enduring legacies and their ability to bring a spark of magic, even decades after their first collaboration. Beyond the humor, the encounter showed the show's talent for weaving pop culture references into its storytelling. The writers and producers cleverly leveraged Fisher and Jones's Star Wars history to create a scene that was both funny and emotionally resonant. Their brief interaction reminded audiences of the timeless bond between iconic characters and the actors who brought them to life, proving that some connections transcend time and genre. The guest appearance remains one of the show's most memorable moments, combining star power, nostalgia, and humor, while paying tribute to two legends of cinema in a way only The Big Bang Theory could. That unforgettable cameo wowed fans, but what about the legendary actor who almost said no? Number 7. Mark Hamill takes a leap of faith for The Big Bang Theory. For the Season 11 finale of The Big Bang Theory, the producers had a dream guest in mind. Mark Hamill, best known as Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, to officiate Sheldon and Amy's wedding. However, Hamill was initially hesitant. Approached by the team without a script in hand, he admitted to feeling a little nervous about committing to the role without knowing exactly what he would be performing. Showrunner Steve Holland told The Hollywood Reporter that Hamill's caution was completely understandable. Signing on for a major guest appearance without seeing any dialogue is a big risk, even for an experienced actor. Nevertheless, Hamill agreed to meet with the writers and spend several hours with the team, getting a feel for the production and the vision behind the episode. During this meeting, Hamill connected with the writers, shared laughs, and built rapport with the creative team. The experience helped ease his nerves and gave him confidence in the project. Trusting the team's enthusiasm and respect for his iconic legacy, he ultimately decided to take the leap and commit to the role. Remarkably, Hamill signed on without ever reading a single line of the script. His participation in the finale added a special layer of excitement for fans, connecting the Star Wars universe with the world of The Big Bang Theory. Hamill's willingness to trust the producers and writers highlights not only his adventurous spirit, but also the mutual respect between the show's creators and one of cinema's most beloved actors. The finale, featuring Hamill officiating Sheldon and Amy's wedding, remains a standout moment in the series. It demonstrated how star power, trust, and a little leap of faith can combine to create television magic that resonates with audiences and leaves a lasting impression. Hamill's leap of faith made TV history. But did you know the show also had a real-life scientist shaping its on-screen brains? Number 6. Mayim Bialik brings real science to The Big Bang Theory. Mayim Bialik, who plays Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory, isn't just acting the part of a neuroscientist. She actually holds a PhD in neuroscience in real life. Her expertise has been a unique asset to the show, allowing her to ensure that scientific references and terminology were used correctly. Bialik has shared that her background in neuroscience came in handy while filming. Whenever the scripts included complex scientific jargon, she would occasionally offer small corrections to make the dialogue more accurate. Her input helped the writers strike a balance between humor and credibility, giving fans a sense that the characters' work in science was grounded in reality. The showrunners even used Bialik's expertise to shape Amy's character. Knowing that the actress could lend authenticity, they made Amy a neuroscientist, mirroring Bialik's own academic background. This decision allowed the writers to incorporate more believable scientific discussions and interactions in her scenes, particularly when she collaborated with Sheldon or other characters on research topics. Having a real-life scientist on set also helped deepen Amy's character. Bialik's understanding of research, lab work, and academic culture gave her performance a layer of authenticity that resonated with viewers, making Amy's accomplishments and quirks feel more believable. By blending Bialik's real-world expertise with the show's comedic storytelling, The Big Bang Theory created a character who was both hilarious and intellectually credible. Amy's career in neuroscience became a core part of her identity, while Bialik's guidance ensured that the science never felt completely out of reach, even for audiences without a technical background. This intersection of real science and sitcom humor set Amy Farrah Fowler apart as one of the most accurate and relatable portrayals of a female scientist on television. Amy's real-life science background made her character unforgettable. But have you ever wondered where Bernadette's iconic voice came from? Number 5. Bernadette's voice inspired by Melissa Rauch's mother. Melissa Rauch, who plays Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz on The Big Bang Theory, revealed that her character's famously high-pitched voice has a very personal origin. Rauch shared that the voice was inspired by her own mother. When she went in for the audition, Rauch hadn't planned on using a distinctive voice. Initially, the role was just for a guest appearance, and she was nervous in the waiting room with many other actors vying for the part. She wanted to try something unique to stand out. On that day, she had just spoken with her mother, whose natural speaking pitch closely resembled the voice she later gave Bernadette. Rauch explained that while Bernadette and her mother aren't exactly alike, some qualities in her mother's voice seemed fitting for the character in the audition material. She ended up doing a subtle imitation without incorporating her mother's Jersey accent to create a playful, high-register voice for Bernadette. The result was memorable and helped her stand out in the crowded audition room. That unique voice became a defining trait for Bernadette throughout the series, giving the character a mix of sweetness and sharpness that complemented her personality and interactions with Howard and the rest of the gang. Rauch's choice demonstrates how small, personal influences can shape a character in lasting ways. What began as a nervous improvisation inspired by her mother turned into a signature element of a beloved sitcom character. Bernadette's voice became instantly recognizable and contributed to the humor and charm that fans loved throughout the show's run. Melissa Rauch's thoughtful use of her personal experience not only helped her land the role, but also added depth and personality to Bernadette, showing how real-life inspiration can bring fictional characters to life. Rauch's personal touch brought Bernadette to life, but did you know one of the show's sweetest songs sparked a real legal dispute? Number 4. The controversy behind Soft Kitty. Soft Kitty became one of the most memorable parts of The Big Bang Theory, often sung by Penny to comfort Sheldon. However, the lullaby also sparked legal controversy. Two women, Ellen Newland Chase and Margaret Chase Perry, claimed that their mother, Ellen Chase, a nursery school teacher, had written the lyrics as a poem back in the 1930s. They alleged that the show used the song without proper permission or credit. According to reports, Warner Brothers had sought approval from the publisher of a book of nursery rhymes in which the poem appeared. The studio received permission from the publisher to use it, but did not consult the Chase family directly. Feeling that their mother's work had been used without acknowledgement or compensation, the family filed a lawsuit against CBS and Warner Brothers. The legal case attracted attention because Soft Kitty had become such an iconic and beloved element of the show. Fans of the series often associate it with Sheldon's quirky personality and Penny's caring nature. Despite the lawsuit, the case was eventually dropped, and no formal ruling was made regarding the ownership of the lyrics. While Soft Kitty was intended as a comforting, playful moment for the show's characters, it also became a reminder of the importance of properly crediting creators, especially for works with a long history. Either ways, the song still remains a fan favorite and a recurring gag throughout the series, solidifying its place in pop culture. The lawsuit did not prevent the show from continuing to feature the lullaby, and Soft Kitty continues to be closely associated with Sheldon, The Big Bang Theory, and the humor and heart that define the show. Soft Kitty may have survived controversy, but how far did the main cast go to make sure everyone on set was treated fairly? Number 3. The Big Pay Cut for Equality. Before Season 11 of The Big Bang Theory, the show's main male stars made a significant gesture to support their female co-stars. Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Simon Helberg, Kaylee Cuoco, and Kunal Nayyar each took a $1 million pay cut from their impressive $1 million per episode salaries. This decision was made to help boost Mayim Bialik's and Melissa Rauch's salaries to over $425,000 per episode, reflecting their growing importance to the show. Bialik and Rauch had joined the series later than the original cast, but had become central to the storyline, portraying Amy Farrah Fowler and Bernadette Rostenkowski, respectively. The pay cut demonstrated both solidarity and fairness within the cast. It allowed the show to recognize the value of its female leads while keeping the ensemble intact. Rather than sparking conflict, the move highlighted the collaborative spirit behind the scenes. This adjustment also reflected broader conversations in Hollywood about pay equity, particularly for women in major television roles. By voluntarily reducing their own earnings, Parsons, Galecki, Helberg, Cuoco, and Nayyar helped create a more balanced salary structure, showing that even high-profile actors can prioritize fairness and teamwork over personal gain. Fans praised the decision as an example of generosity and professionalism. It ensured that Bialik and Rauch received compensation, reflecting their contribution to the series' success, while maintaining harmony among the cast. Ultimately, the gesture strengthened the bond among the actors and reinforced The Big Bang Theory's reputation as a workplace that valued its entire ensemble. The pay adjustment became a notable example of how collaboration and fairness can be put into action on one of television's most successful shows. The cast's pay cut highlighted fairness behind the scenes. But did you know the show almost had a completely different name before it became The Big Bang Theory? Number 2. The original name, Lenny, Penny, and Kenny. Before The Big Bang Theory became the hit show we know today, it had a very different working title, Lenny, Penny, and Kenny. The name reflected the early concept of the main characters, focusing on Leonard, Penny, and the character who would eventually become Sheldon. In this original version, Sheldon wasn't even going to be called Sheldon. He was initially named Kenny. The early title shows how much the series evolved during development. The creators experimented with character names and dynamics before settling on the ensemble we now recognize. Leonard and Penny remained consistent, but Kenny eventually transformed into the quirky, brilliant Sheldon Cooper, whose unique personality became central to the show's identity. Choosing the final title, The Big Bang Theory, highlighted the show's focus on science, nerd culture, and the social dynamics of its characters, rather than just their individual names. It allowed the series to feel broader and more inventive, appealing to both comedy fans and viewers interested in science and geek culture. The name change also mirrored the development of Sheldon's character. While Kenny may have suggested a more ordinary persona, Sheldon Cooper became an iconic figure in television, known for his intelligence, strict routines, and social awkwardness. This evolution from Lenny, Penny, and Kenny to The Big Bang Theory demonstrates the creative process behind successful shows. It's a reminder that early ideas often go through significant changes before becoming the cultural phenomenon audiences love. Altogether, the final title and character names perfectly captured the essence of the series, setting the stage for 12 seasons of humor, science jokes, and unforgettable characters. The original working title is now an interesting piece of trivia for fans who love to explore the show's early development. The final name stuck and became iconic, but what about the dream guest who almost didn't make it onto the show? Number 1. Mark Hamill's nerve-wracking guest role. In the season 11 finale of The Big Bang Theory, Mark Hamill was approached to officiate Sheldon and Amy's wedding, a role that thrilled the producers who considered him their dream guest. However, Hamill was initially a little nervous about taking on the part. The main reason for his hesitation was that the producers asked him to commit without a script. They wanted him to step into the role purely based on trust in their vision for the episode. Understandably, Hamill felt cautious about agreeing to something so important without knowing exactly what he would be performing. Showrunner Steve Holland explained that Hamill spent a few hours with the writers before making his decision. During this time, they discussed the character and the episode, giving Hamill a clearer sense of what was expected. This interaction helped him feel more comfortable and confident in taking the leap. Ultimately, Hamill decided to trust the producers and signed on to play the role without having read a single word of the script. His willingness to take a risk paid off, as the finale became a memorable and highly celebrated moment for fans of the show. Hamill's participation was proof of the strong relationships and trust between guest stars and the show's creative team. It also showed how much the producers valued having a legendary actor like him involved, making the wedding episode even more special. In the end, Mark Hamill's brief moment in The Big Bang Theory left a lasting impression, perfectly complementing the heartfelt and comedic celebration of Sheldon and Amy's long-awaited nuptials. Which behind-the-scenes fact surprised you the most? And is there any other Big Bang Theory trivia you wish we'd covered? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.